The discovery was made based on data provided by the Kepler Space Telescope. Launched in March 2009, the telescope has constantly been scanning certain sections of the universe in search of new stars and planetary systems. Up to now, over 2,000 new worlds have been discovered. Children explore the world alone, but they use message boards to share what they find and what they do in the different creative studios they find around the virtual space. At times children were explorers and at others they were social climbers eager to connect with other players. By the middle of the century, Denmark hopes to power all of its transport through green energy. The Green Lighthouse is the first building in Denmark that uses only alternative and renewable energy. Throughout Denmark, low-energy homes are being built. They use rainwater to wash clothes. Some were power users looking for more information about how the virtual space really worked. The children could try all kinds of things without having to be afraid of the consequences that would follow if they tried them in the real world. They learned many useful social skills and played around with their identity in ways that would be much more difficult in real life. The publishers of the report say that virtual worlds can be a powerful, engaging and real interactive alternative to more passive media. They urged creators of virtual spaces for children to get young people involved very early on because they really do have good ideas to add and they are very good critical friends. More than half of the world's population lives in urban areas. Traffic and pollution are becoming a big problem in big cities all over the world. In megacities like Mexico City, Shanghai or Cairo, the quality of the air is getting worse every day. In the United States, commuters spend more time sitting in traffic jams. Russia is on the periphery of most international science networks, which has made it easier for Western countries to cut off collaborations. But it does have an important role in some global research. Work done at large-scale physics infrastructures, especially in Europe, could be affected for years. Today, city planners around the world are looking for ways to provide more room for living and less room for cars. Through traffic jams, people do not only lose time in getting to work, cities become dirtier too. Too much space is taken away from nature and used for streets and parking areas. Chandigarh is divided into sectors, which are connected with each other. They all have their own parks, schools, shopping areas, walkways and other facilities. The broad roads are classified by their functions and lined by different trees. In these countries, the government controls energy prices and highly regulates energy and electricity markets, which makes them much less sensitive to declining costs of renewable energy. The entire coal value chain, including mining, transport, electricity generation and finance, The Oasis of the Seas is the world's largest cruise ship. It can carry up to 6,200 passengers, who are served by over 2,000 crew members. The vessel is 40% bigger than any other cruise ship in the world, has a weight of 225,000 tons. Policies in these countries should focus on reforms that check vested interests and corruption, reduce state control over the energy sector, and level the playing field for alternative energy systems. These countries also need to develop alternative economies. The idea of transporting goods in standard containers came up in the 1950s. The first such vessel was just able to carry about 58 containers. Today's new generation of container ships are so big that they can barely squeeze through the Suez Canal, but cannot make it through the Panama Canal. The affordability, security and reliability of electricity rank very high on the political agenda. State-controlled energy prices can force power companies into debt, leaving them no economic room to finance a shift to coal alternatives. The rate of food allergies around the world is increasing. The rise in food allergies has affected Western countries most. Especially children are at risk. In some cases, allergies can lead to dangerous and even life-threatening situations. More and more families must change their diets in order to fight allergies. Scientists have been trying to find out why we are becoming more allergic to food. One reason may be improved hygiene, which leads to children having fewer infections. Another cause may be the lack of vitamin D, which helps our immune system fight allergies. At the moment, a food allergy cannot be cured. A new medical report has found out that the number of obese people around the world has increased by 600% over the past 40 years. The report says that about 12% of the world's population suffers from obesity. Within the next decade, 20% of the world's population will be overweight. Medical experts point out that obesity cannot be treated with medication and exercise alone. It is also important to change your diet and consume less fatty food and sugary drinks. We also need to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables and reduce the intake of processed food. The researchers point out that doctors should be aware of both sides when treating patients. According to the study, reasons for a broken heart syndrome may be more widespread than previously considered. The study has also found out that in over 90% of the cases, older women over 60 were at risk. One of the main topics was how to measure happiness. While some experts state that there are many ways to measure happiness, like capturing a person's feelings, satisfaction in life, or being healthy and physically fit, others say that you can't really measure happiness but you can see it. Engaging in informative conversations can also contribute to more satisfaction and happiness. Not surprisingly, men feel that a good love relationship is an important factor in being happy. Happiness is also contagious. It is unfair but inescapable that much of the work will fall on the shoulders of early and mid-career researchers, for whom evaluations are most crucial. They have a choice of whether to provide more rigorous and complete evidence in their applications or just the usual numbers. The semiconductor industry has been able to improve the performance of electronic systems for more than 4 decades by making ever smaller devices. However, this approach will soon encounter both scientific and technical limits, which is why the industry is exploring a number of alternative device technologies. Stress is a feeling we have when we react to events that don't make us feel very good. Such events can happen at school, like a test or examination, at your office, like getting a new boss, or in your private life, like preparing for a divorce.
Stress can also be long-term, like preparing for a difficult exam or having private problems with your parents, teachers or friends. Stress happens when you work too much and don't have the time to relax. This long-term stress keeps your body alert and pumps hormones into your bloodstream for a longer time.
Imagine living all your life as the only family on your street. Then, one morning, you open the front door and discover houses all around you. You see neighbors tending their gardens and children walking to school. Where did all the people come from? What if the answer turned out to be that they had always been there, you just hadn't seen them? Road rage is aggressive behavior by drivers on the road. It has become so common that some psychologists say it is a mental disorder. Many things can cause road rage. Some driving experts think that road rage occurs because people watch chase scenes on TV. There is also a vast array of networks that connect these devices, including computer, telephone and cable networks. Computer communication across the internet, such as email and instant messaging, is just one of many examples of telecommunication.
In today's world, driving is a very stressful and risky activity. A driver must be alert at all times and not get distracted by other things, like phone calls or fellow drivers. When a motorist becomes angry, they often do wrong things, which lead to aggressive behavior.
The training of an actor is an intensive process which requires curiosity, courage and commitment. You will learn how to prepare for rehearsal, how to rehearse and how to use independent and proactive processes that inform you to do the best work possible for both stage and screen.
Cars are collecting more and more data as more powerful onboard computers record every aspect of driving. Car manufacturers are installing computers in cars which give the driver more information on how they are driving and in which ways traveling can get easier.
Electric cars will also be using computer technology to monitor use. BMW has already put an onboard computer in its Mini E. Among other things, it monitors how often users charge their cars. Not only cars but other forms of transportation are becoming more and more interconnected as well. One of the biggest problems about buying a car is that you often have to borrow a lot of money so that you can pay for one. In most cases, new cars cost tens of thousands of dollars, a price that not everyone can afford. Camping is a very popular form of living outdoors. It gives people the opportunity of spending their free time in nature or in the wilderness. Camping may start by spending the night in a tent in your own backyard and end up by going on a trip that may last for several weeks.